I just realized, growing up is actually just a cosmic pyramid scheme.
It's only Monday, and you're already starting up with end-of-life philosophies.
Think about it. When we were kids, everyone advertised this service package as so attractive. Financial freedom, traveling everywhere, sleeping whenever you want.
Yeah, the commercials are always glamorous. And the reality?
The reality is I have the freedom to stay up until 2 a.m. Not to party, but to battle a deadline hanging over my head.
At least, you can see the deadline. I'm too busy studying the architecture of my ceiling until I know every crack by heart, just to ask myself, why am I here?
When I was little, I thought I'd grow up to be a superhero saving the world. Now that I'm grown, I feel helpless just trying to save an Excel sheet with a formatting error.
Don't bring superheroes into this. At least they have cool spandex. We only have employee badges around our necks like survival tags.
You just reminded me. Back then, I dreamed of big houses and passionate love. Now I open my banking app, see a balance of 300K, and suddenly feel I have a strange talent for minimalism.
That's not minimalism. That's life forcing you into a mold.
I used to think adults had to be calm, like composed demeanor, solving great matters with a wave of a hand.
Yeah, I thought so too until I saw my department head. One moment she's in a $1 million strategy meeting, the next she's typing at full speed just to ask the delivery guy, "Did you put extra onions in my beef noodles?"
Turns out the only difference between a child and an adult is Googling speed.
That one hits home. Problem-solving skills are actually just the ability to find keywords extremely fast under high pressure.
I remember my dad. He could fix anything, from a burnt-out fan to a leaking faucet. So cool.
And, did you discover a secret?
Growing up, I realized he was mumbling prayers while turning the screws. The art of repair is actually 50% skill and 50% spiritual faith.
Haha, we men live on faith.
Thinking back to middle school, I was so eager to be an adult, to wear a blazer, hold a coffee, and strut confidently like in a Hollywood movie.
Well, you're holding a coffee and wearing a blazer right now. You look the part.
It's different. In movies, they drink coffee to enjoy it. I drink it because if I don't have caffeine, I'm afraid I'll burst into tears in the middle of a meeting from being too sleepy.
I love this painful honesty of yours.
And do you notice that as we get older, our memory is occupied by meaningless things? Email passwords, OTP codes, Wi-Fi passes, tax IDs.
Don't remind me. The other day I changed my password for enhanced security. 3 minutes later, I realized I was the only person secured out of that account. Totally forgot it.
Exactly. Adults are creatures who create their own troubles and then stress out over them.
I realized a more terrifying truth. Adulthood is when you discover that nobody actually knows what they're doing.
Correct. Everyone is just acting the role of an adult professionally.
Some act so well they get promoted. Some act poorly and become realists. Like my boss the other day, confidently declaring, "Everything is under control."
Sounds reputable, doesn't it?
Yeah, reputable until he struggled to plug in the HDMI cable backwards 3 times in front of the partners.
Haha. Adults are essentially just children with a heavy load of bills and the skill of faking composure.
And that art of endurance. Do you hate the phrase "you'll get used to it"?
Hate it. It sounds like life is patting you on the back, saying, "Get better at taking a beating, you're becoming a pro."
When I was little, my definition of success was knowing what I wanted.
At 3 years old, I knew exactly what I wanted.
What was it?
Ice cream. Regardless of weather, regardless of circumstances.
And now, holding a 10-page menu sends you into an existential crisis, right?
Yes. The more choices, the less I know what to choose. Even liking someone becomes complicated.
Back then, you just wrote their name in a notebook. Now, if you want to like someone, you have to check the work calendar, measure psychological trauma levels, and see if they can reply to a text within 4 hours.
Adulthood is the paid version of a headache, and the worst part is it auto-renews every month.
Do you ever feel like you're living just to process an endless inbox?
You mean received? Processing? Will respond later?
Exactly. Even in my dreams, I worry I forgot to send an attachment. Then I wake up wide-eyed only to realize today is Sunday.
That feeling is worse than sleep paralysis. But do you know the clearest sign of getting old?
What? Back pain?
It's the feeling of pure bliss when a plan gets canceled. A friend texts, "Let's reschedule." And while I text back, "Oh, what a shame. Inside, I'm throwing a party because I can stay home and do nothing."
Haha, oh my god, that is the happiest moment of my week.
As a kid, I hated afternoon naps. Now, if someone lets me nap, I'm ready to call them my savior. I used to hate vegetables. Now I proactively buy celery juice to apologize to my liver.
Childhood is truly the time when we are richest in energy but poorest in responsibility.
What was the biggest difficulty back then, do you remember? A clogged ink pen or getting a 5 inches math?
For me, it was losing an eraser. Now, the biggest challenge is finding the motivation to drag myself out of bed every morning.
Many times standing in the company elevator, I ask myself, if this elevator flies straight to Mars, should I jump out?
And the answer is always no, because there's probably no Wi-Fi on Mars to check email.
Haha, but the funniest thing is no matter how much we complain, tomorrow morning we still wake up, still wear the blazer, and still buy the coffee.
Because we're poor?
No, because we are responsible adults.
I read somewhere, adulthood is when you understand money can't buy happiness, but money gives us enough calm to go find happiness.
It's like playing a game on hard mode with no manual, no save button, and the main character is always sleep deprived.
But at least, even if we're not happy, we have the right to decide.
Like eating cake at 11 p.m. without asking anyone's permission?
Exactly. And then having to take responsibility for the stomach ache the next morning. Freedom always comes with consequences. That's the most expensive lesson.
You know, growing up might not be fun.
But
But at least we get to choose who to sit and complain with. Someone who understands why we ordered this bitter cup of coffee.
sounds like a love confession for the exhausted.
We're adults, David. We don't have the strength for flowery romance anymore.
True. Now, anyone who makes your head feel lighter is already a form of high-end romance.
So in the end, what is adulthood?
It's when you order coffee not for the taste, but because you need fuel to exist for another 24 hours.
You look like an outstanding employee of some psychiatric hospital today.
I thought I looked like someone who just donated his soul to a corporation in exchange for a few pennies.
Does your company still stick to the motto, squeeze until the last drop?
My current company has all the qualities of a toxic ex. They won't give me happiness, but they absolutely refuse to let me rest.
Haha, I remember you were so excited when you started your probation. Every day at work is a day of enlightenment, right?
Right. Back then I was naive enough to believe those motivational quotes on LinkedIn. Now, every morning when the alarm goes off, I think it's a national disaster siren.
Are you dramatizing your life a bit too much?
Not at all. Yesterday my phone showed a notification. Low battery, please connect charger. And I looked at it with tears in my eyes because I felt so much empathy.
At least the phone has a charging port. What about you?
I get gifted a bunch of tasks by my boss at 11 p.m. with the message, "Are you still awake?"
And how did you reply? Don't tell me you said, "Yes, I am."
I accidentally seen it. That was the most expensive mistake of my life. So, "Are you still awake?" turned into a strategy meeting until 2 a.m.
Modern technology is truly the ultimate weapon for sophisticated exploitation.
Back in school, teachers said, "Study hard so you won't suffer later when you work." Now I realize, the one who's best at PowerPoint is the one who suffers the most.
That's called the curse of competence. So what exhausts you the most? The deadlines?
No, deadlines are just physical pain. The most tiring part is having to play the role of a passionate employee.
Like in online meetings, everyone turns on their camera smiling. I'm so honored to be part of this project.
Exactly. But as soon as the camera and mic are off, everyone sighs like they just escaped a crime scene.
Then why not just write the letter, sign it, and toss it on the boss's desk to be cool?
Because I still have to support a powerful army, rent, electricity, water, and my self-esteem, which requires periodic maintenance.
Self-esteem needs maintenance funds too?
Of course, when you're too poor, your self-esteem automatically fades away, and then your boss's yelling sounds like chamber music.
Haha, I'm sorry, but you sound like you're performing a stand-up comedy about hopelessness.
I'm not acting, my life is a dark comedy.
I used to think you were the man of steel type. Nothing could beat you.
I am steel. I bravely opened a work email on a Saturday morning, and I'm still sitting here breathing. Isn't that a miracle?
Truly a brave office warrior.
Warrior, my foot. Warriors have iron armor. I only have a watery Americano and a misguided belief in the future.
Do you ever feel like you're living too fast? So fast that you're out of breath?
Yes, especially when the food delivery app understands my taste better than my own mother. It knows when I'm sad to suggest milk tea, and when I'm stressed to offer fried chicken.
Haha, at least you keep your sense of humor. That's good feng shui for survival.
It's not a sense of humor, it's a survival mechanism. If I don't laugh at myself, I'm afraid I'll start crying right during a KPI presentation.
Has that actually happened?
Last week, a colleague of mine accidentally left her mic on while sobbing. And do you know what the scariest part was?
What? Everyone comforted her?
No. The scary thing was that no one was surprised. Everyone just kept talking about revenue as if the sound of crying was just background office noise.
Sounds like a post-apocalyptic society where zombies in white shirts look for life in PDF files.
Exactly. Adults keep saying you have to follow your passion. But in the end, everyone is just busy chasing the runaway KPIs.
That's a bit heartbreaking, isn't it?
Just a mild ache, too much pain, and I'd have to take leave. And taking leave means no pay.
Do you really hate your current job? Or are you just venting because you're exhausted?
I like feeling useful. I like being recognized. But I hate having to trade all my personal time for a few. You did a good job from someone who doesn't even remember my face.
I find our generation so contradictory, working like robots by day, then posting statuses at night like, love yourself.
Don't call us out like that. I also just posted a sunset photo with the caption, slow down to feel the world.
What were you actually doing then?
Sitting in the elevator eating cup noodles to meet a 6 p.m. deadline.
Haha, you are terrifyingly sober, David.
I'm not sober. My brain now runs on a mixture of caffeine and the fear of being replaced.
An extremely mature and realistic source of energy.
Adulthood is when you realize you can't quit your job just because it's a beautiful day and you want to lie around listening to music.
Actually, this morning I stood in front of the mirror for 5 minutes just to convince myself, go to work, Sophia, because you don't have the money to play princess.
Haha, and the result?
I arrived at the company with the spirit of a prisoner of war, but still had to smile and greet the security guard.
If one day you really quit your job, what's the first thing you'd do?
Buy a house in the suburbs? Travel around the world?
No, I would take a very deep sleep. A sleep without the ping-ping of work messages, without a single spreadsheet in sight.
Adult dreams sound pitifully modest.
Maybe we're tired not because there's too much work.
But because we have to keep pretending that everything is fine?
Yeah, adults have a superpower, being broken into pieces inside, but still replying to emails with, yes, I've received the information and will process it immediately.
Do you know why I like sitting in cafes with you?
Because I always treat you?
No, because when I complain with you, the tragedy of life suddenly sounds like a comedy. And comedy is much easier to swallow than tragedy.
Then it's worth it. Right now I'm not rich enough to make anyone happy, but at least I'm messy enough to make someone else not want to give up.
What should our generation's slogan be?
Exhausted but still polite.
Off work but not off the grid.
Wanting to quit but the bills won't allow it.
Haha, what a miserable lot we are.
You're staring at that glass very intensely, waiting for the milk foam to reveal your boss's bank account password.
No. I'm trying to analyze if today's foam looks like a broken heart or a depressed potato.
And the conclusion from the foam scientist?
It's a potato contemplating human existence.
I like the way you turn a 55K latte into a low-budget indie film.
And I like the way you turn every hobby into a sci-fi research project. What were you watching until 3 a.m. yesterday?
A4. Our video of a man in the mountains restoring a Soviet-era electric fan.
That's not a hobby. That's a cry for help from a lonely soul.
You don't understand. Watching the rust disappear under the cleaning solution, I felt my soul being detoxed along with those fan blades.
I apologize for ever thinking you were a modern and interesting man.
How about you? Don't tell me you spend your time learning embroidery or doing yoga.
No, I have a photo album on my phone titled Villains Out Buying Sweets.
Huh? What?
Because I chose the road less traveled, but it's not like you're normal either. How's that old typewriter you bought on eBay?
Oh, it's performing the noble task of being a paperweight.
You said you bought it because the sound of the keys is very cinematic?
That's true. I intended to write a masterpiece novel, but after typing the first sentence, should I have bought this, the M key got stuck.
Even the machine wanted to stop you from wasting money.
Perhaps, but you know, I have another secret hobby, reading one-star reviews online.
What? You like watching people argue?
No, it's very entertaining and philosophical. Look, someone gave 1 star to an office chair because the chair is too comfortable. I fell asleep and got fired.
Haha, customer logic is truly a cosmic black hole.
Or this, restaurant 1 star because the food was too good. My partner ate my portion leading to a breakup.
I'm starting to love the internet. Turns out the world runs on adorable absurdity.
I think weird hobbies are actually our way of giving ourselves first aid from the boredom of reality.
True. Some days I go to the supermarket and pretend to choose fabric softener for 15 minutes just to listen to the couple next to me argue about choosing fish sauce.
You do that too? I often pretend to compare instant noodle prices just to eavesdrop on family secrets.
You don't understand. This fish sauce has a delicate aftertaste. Delicate my foot. It's as salty as my life.
Haha, those everyday dramas are sometimes deeper than Oscar-winning movies.
Do you think we're a bit eccentric?
I think everyone is weird in their own way. They just hide it too well, afraid of being judged as immature by the world.
I once tried to pretend to be a normal person, going to the gym, drinking green label juice, talking about stocks,
And
I felt like a printer with a font error. Terribly exhausting.
I also tried to participate in some networking events. I stood talking to a potted plant for 10 minutes because I thought it was a quiet corner to hide.
Haha. And did the plant respond to you?
Yes, it gave me a photo that someone captured. I looked exactly like a philosopher conversing with nature at that moment.
If I find that photo, I'll frame it and hang it in the exhibition The Strangest Men on Earth.
You really are a gentle hazard, Sophia.
Gentle Hazard? Sounds like the title of an independent psychological thriller you'd watch at midnight.
It's hot, isn't it? The coffee is a bit hot today.
You haven't taken a sip yet?
Well, the air is hot.
Your ears are turning red. Must be the potted plant pressure from back then, right?
Don't you dare use your urban observation art on me.
Don't worry, I don't have a quirky but lovable friends section in my album yet. I guess I'll have to create one.
Then I hope I'm the only person in that album.
Let me observe a bit more first.